So just maybe, you've already watched the first 4 episodes in this 5-part series on my Crown Royal collection. And if you have, thank you for watching and welcome to the 5th and final episode in this series. People often ask me why Crown Royal, when in their eyes there's better whiskey or bourbon. And the simple answer is this: I have always enjoyed all of Crown Royal's whiskeys that I've ever been able to try, and plus, I live in Texas where Crown Royal is king. Now today, we are going to quickly recap my entire collection to date, and we will also talk about those missing bottles from the collection. And yes, we will go over a couple of those great drink recipes I previously promised. So let's get started. Roll that intro. In the basic signature series, there have been 4 releases: the Fine Deluxe, the Black, the Northern Harvest Rye, and the Bourbon or Blender's Mash, as it were. And I have a bottle of each in my collection. Now, this doesn't include the many releases of the Fine Deluxe, celebrating sport franchises, or any of the special bag releases, that I do happen to have a couple of though. And I also have a bottle of Fine Deluxe from 1965 with the original tax seals from the good old days. And let's face it, when you step into a bar and order a Crown and Coke, every bartender knows you are referring to Crown Royal's Fine Deluxe whiskey. Moving on to the Noble Collection. Once again, there were a total of 7 releases in this category, and I currently have 6 of them, starting with the Barley Edition, the Winter Wheat, the 16-year Rye, the French Oak Cask, the 13-year Blender's Mash, and finally the Wine Barrel Finished Edition. So my only missing bottle is the Cornerstone from 2016. You may still be able to find some barley in a few of the stores out there today, but the others have been retired and have become a bit more difficult to get your hands on. Okay, let's get started with the Master Series. And the Master Series is some of the finest and rarest of Crown Royal's whiskeys. Of the 13 known releases, I currently have 10 of them, starting with the Reserve from '92, the XR Red or Waterloo Edition, followed by the XR Blue or the LaSalle Edition, and then the Monarch 75th Anniversary and the XO Editions. Also, the Hand Select Barrel, the 18-year aged, the 29-year aged, the 23-year aged Golden Apple, and then finally, the single malt whiskey. Now, to my knowledge, there are currently just the 3 bottles missing from my collection, and they are a 30-year age, the cask number 16, and a 10-year limited that I know very little about. But don't forget that later this year, there will be a new 12-year aged reserve and a 31-year aged whiskey released in this category. Well, once again, we are going to sit back and talk briefly about the Flavor Series, which just happens to be my favorite, as you'll see again later at the drink station. But from the maple all the way to the blackberry and all the flavors in between, I have enjoyed tasting 7 of the 8 flavors ever produced and currently have all 8 in my collection. For me, finding out that there was a flavor called Texas Mesquite that I had never tasted or even heard of until I started collecting was a huge surprise. Maybe someday I'll find another bottle and I'll be able to give it a try. I'm just hoping it doesn't take Crown Royal another 5 years to generate their next flavor in this series. But for now, I will try to be patient and wait to see what that is. Now, let's get ready to head out to the drink station and whip up a few of those refreshing Crown Royal beverages. Enjoy. So, now we've made it into the final part of this video series, which is to make a few drink recipes using some Crown Royal products. And I know that you've been waiting for this part, so let's just get started. The drink recipes that I will share with you today will include a Jolly Rancher apple, a Crown Royal apple sour, and we will also make a peaches and cream cocktail. Let's get this started with that delicious root beer float that you've heard me talking about. You can grab a shaker with some ice, or you can just mix this right into your glass of your choice. Today, I will just use my glass. All right, let me go ahead and get a little bit of ice. Then what we're going to do is we're going to grab Crown Royal vanilla. We're going to do about 1.5 ounces of Crown vanilla. Then what we're going to do is add 1 ounce of your favorite Irish cream. I know most people use Bailey's, but 1 ounce of Bailey's Irish cream. Then you can go ahead and stir that up a little bit, mix it up. All right, now we're going to add your favorite root beer. Mine just happens to be A&W. And we'll just go ahead and give that another quick stir. Now you can garnish this with the cherry if you'd like. I prefer not to today. So let's give this a taste. That's good. I give this a 10 out of 10 nearly every time. This is your Crown Royal root beer float. Enjoy. A Crown Royal Peaches and Cream cocktail is done along the same lines as that delicious root beer float we had just a moment ago. Once again, either into a shaker or just straight into your glass, we're going to pour some Crown Royal peach and then add a little peach schnapps to it. So, got my glass with some ice in it. Once again, we will take about 1.5 ounces of peach, put that into our glass. Then we will take some peach schnapps, 1 ounce of that into your glass, and you can go ahead and give that a little bit of a stir. All right, then just go ahead and add your favorite cream soda. Once again, I'm using some A&W. Now I prefer not to really garnish this with anything at all. Let's give it a taste. Oh, that is your refreshing summertime Crown Royal Peaches and Cream cocktail. It's good. Okay, now for that Crown Royal apple sour. You'll just need to pour 2 ounces of Royal Regal apple into your shaker. I guess we better get caught up with the Regal apple first, all right? 2 ounces of Regal apple. I already have 1.25 ounces of fresh squeezed lemon juice there. Then we'll go ahead and take 3/4 ounce of simple syrup, put the cap on to our shaker, give it a good shake. Then we'll get us another rocks glass here. Give us a nice little pour. Once again, you should garnish this with a cherry. I failed to get one out, so we're not going to be doing that today. Let's give this a taste. Crown Royal Regal Apple Sour. It's quite delightful. Now, if the flavors isn't what you're into, you can replace the 2 ounces of apple with Crown Royal's Fine Deluxe Whiskey for a deluxe whiskey sour. Cheers. And now we'll finish off with the Jolly Rancher apple, starting with placing some white corn syrup on a plate, and then also crush up a green apple Jolly Rancher candy. Now today I've went ahead and added a cherry and the green apple candy and crushed those up. And as you can see, we have already spun our glass into the corn syrup and dressed it with the Jolly Ranchers candies. So we'll set that off to the side just for a moment. Okay, now we'll take our shaker with ice, and I forgot to get the whiskey, so let's get the whiskey. Off the wall, we will take 1.5 ounces of Crown Royal's Fine Deluxe Whiskey and put that into the shaker. Then next we'll take 1 ounce of melon liqueur, put that in the shaker. Then, hopefully without making too much of a mess, we'll put 2 ounces of sweet and sour mix into the shaker. And we'll put a top on it. We'll give it a shake, mix it all up real good, cool it down. Then we'll go ahead and grab that rocks glass that's lined out real well, and we will strain into that rocks glass. Oh, that looks good. This is the first time I've made it with green apple and cherry candies, and it actually is nice. It looks colorful. We'll go ahead and garnish with the maraschino cherry, and there you have it, your Jolly Rancher apple cocktail. Oh, that's mighty good. Please remember to always drink responsibly and never alone, if at all possible, and never drive when you've been drinking. Always ask a friend or family for help. I'd like to thank you for joining me on this Crown Royal Adventure Series. I've truly enjoyed making these videos and sharing my collection with you. Please stay tuned in to R.D. Baker Photos. You never know what you might see next. And please be sure to hit that subscribe button. We would be very grateful, and I would like to see this channel grow. Once again, thanks for tuning in.